reality. We don't worry about the things that we used to be.
This is in response to a video saying that people on YouTube asking for money are being parasites. There is this idea that if you have a good job you are not a parasite as you contribute to society, which is often true. But many jobs are parasitic too in the corporate world. For example, consider a well-paid lawyer in family courts who helps women obtain money, half of the husbands and takes the kids away. Or well-paid lawyers that twist the truth.
Let me start by saying that this video might offend some fans of Stardusk and Barbarossa. Stardusk also known as the Thinking-Ape. But let me tell you something, I was once a fan of these great thinkers, but I have become absolutely disgusted with what they have become today. These men started out amazing. You could argue that him and Barbarossa Stardusk are the so-called fathers of the MGTOW movement, the powerhouses. But this is not what I am going to be talking about in this video. I'll be talking about two MGTOWs, or should I say fake MGTOWs, who were once humble and real and good MGTOWs, wanting to help men. But they have turned into what they preached against. Take Stardusk. He has taken the road towards manipulating men who want only help and wisdom, and they need kindness, but no, he uses them for his own self-serving means to satisfy his ego and to get money out of them. Take a look at what he posts in every video. Donations are greatly appreciated and help me survive to make videos. This is a manipulative tactic he's using. He's using the word survive because he wants you to feel bad for him, so you give him money. There's absolutely zero difference between that and a gold digger. Same tactic. This man has become a parasite, absolutely disgusting, and has the ego of a goddamn elephant. This is a topic about two great thinkers who have become salesmen, manipulating salesmen who only care about themselves.
What is greed? Of course, none of us are greedy. It's only the other fellow who's greedy. The world runs on individuals pursuing their separate interests. You know, I think you're taking a lot of things for granted. And just tell me where in the world you find these angels who are going to organize society for us. Well, I don't even trust you to do that.
Same thing with Barbarossa, wanting money for his projects and wanting people to give him money. Quite ironic that these great men used to preach against parasites have now become one themselves. How about you go work for that money and then save up and then you create your projects?
So if a guy makes some cash on YouTube videos, this is a parasite. But what about books? When you go into a bookstore, you are forced at gunpoint to pay $15 for a self-help book. By gunpoint, I mean that if you just take the book, you would go to jail for stealing. On YouTube you can take the information without donating. There is no gunpoint, like at bookstore. So is anyone who writes a book in chapters. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, a parasite. They demand that you give them $15 for their book, or else you go to jail for stealing. Whereas on YouTube, you do not have to pay $15 to anyone. You can choose to just watch the video. So who is more of a parasite? A book author who forces you to pay $15 for his book? Or Stardusk? Or Barbarossa? I don't have anything against people who write books. I am simply using it as a comparison. I don't think people who write books are parasites. I am just again using it as a comparison. Buying a book is a voluntary transaction. It's not really a gun held to your face. But the difference is you have to pay $15 if you want the book. You have no choice to steal it. The YouTube video you can download, use, listen, do whatever. A lot of the books in bookstores are filled with fluff. Useless fluffy fluff. To fill up the book. So someone makes 1 million sales of a book. And that's a respected work for a living. But when someone makes YouTube videos and has 50,000 views, that's being a parasite. But if the book author had 50,000 reads, how is it any different? They are both consumable media. Is an Olympic runner who runs around in circles for a living and contributes nothing to society. Are they a parasite too? They just sweat, cause entropy, and consume oxygen. It's not like an Olympic runner invents nuclear equations that help science. Nor does an Olympic runner invent computer technology like the Pentium PCI 386 chip. Yet an Olympic runner who wins races gets a very respected salary. More than a YouTube account. But what does a runner, baseball player, or football player really contribute? It's really just entertainment. But it distracts people from hard truths like downfall of society. So are all athletes parasites. They distract us from real-world issues and run around in circles. What exactly is a respected career? Shuffling papers at banks and being a financial manager. But isn't that career just helping some wife of a husband obtain 50% of his income? Aren't all careers in society parasitic if society itself is broken? A janitor who cleans, with full respect, could just be cleaning of university with 70% feminists. So if someone gets a job as a janitor cleaning at a university, is this parasitic? You are essentially wiping up after feminists, cleaning up after them, helping them. Pretty much any job is deeply tied to broken society anyway. So in the clip, when he says to get a job, what job would that even be? A respected job would be writing a book to men about broken society. Or a respected job would be making a movie like The Matrix, directing it, writing it, so that all men could be educated about broken society. The people who made The Matrix movie made millions of dollars. But they forced you to pay $12 to $15 at the theater to see it. How is this not parasitic? Should the makers of The Matrix given the movie away for free and got real jobs instead? Such as being janitors for universities or doing construction work. Or engineering. Real jobs that actually had a real effect. Physical. On the world. Something tangible. But wait. If they are working in construction, they are likely constructing a building. Like some politically correct university, where 60% are feminists. Or maybe they are constructing a road that goes to the bookstore. Chapters. Maybe they are installing traffic lights to make the bookstore more accessible. It's all connected. Just because you get a real job doesn't mean you aren't a parasite too. What in the fuck is a real job anyway? Maybe you're a web developer at YouTube. A respected career. But if 70% of the content on YouTube is misinformation, such as mostly blue pill videos, then how is being a web developer at YouTube, or a CEO of YouTube, not parasitic? You are essentially a person who works at a company that provides mostly blue pill content. And you are getting paid to encourage more blue pill content to be written. Parasite. It's pretty hard to get out of being a parasite in a broken society. Hard to step out of the matrix. Maybe a respected career is working at a male homeless shelter helping abused men. Or maybe those men are just parasites that you are helping, as they want to get married. Maybe you help some abused man in a shelter, and then the first thing they do is get married again. Or maybe a respected career is being a supplier of food to movie sets, like The Matrix. Maybe you are in charge of the logistics of getting actors their food during the day of acting. But again, The Matrix charges you $12 in the theater to see the movie. So if you sent $12 to a YouTube content provider after watching 30 videos, that is parasitic. But you pay $12 for one Matrix movie and it is not parasitic. A 2-hour movie with one life lesson. Or maybe you are a grocery store manager. That has a fairly good salary. Nothing super special, but still respectable. I hate to break it to you all, but running a grocery store is basically serving housewives. Your customers are mostly wives, married, coming in to get food. So are you a parasite? You are basically running a fucking service for feminists and wives. This video is starting to sound like there is no way out of the matrix and all of us are parasites. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I think I figured that out when I was 6 years old in kindergarten. Or maybe it was when I was in high school. Or elementary. Where you were laughed at for being smart. Sports jocks who ran around in circles were respected. Smart people were ridiculed. Again, this video is partially tongue-in-cheek. I actually like a few sports myself. But if you looked at it carefully, doing sports is just contributing to entropy, consuming oxygen. So if some guy gets a career in the NHL, this is respected. Good salary. Not a YouTube parasite. But how many NHL players provide essential advice about a broken world? Life lessons. Sure, you can argue all you want that NHL hockey players give us all sorts of lessons. When a guy gets blasted into the boards and injured, this is a metaphor for getting married. You can just view the whole NHL hockey game as symbolism. Give me a break. Essentially, hockey players are just entertainment. There is nothing deep about it. Once again, I say this as sort of a hockey fan myself, as it is an interesting game. But really it is just like being interested in chess. It doesn't really help the world much. It exercises your brain, maybe training you for other things in life. Maybe life is a game of hockey. But come on. Let's be real. Getting a $10 million salary for chasing a black puck. Why do you think that getting a real job, like being an NHL player, is much more valuable than, say, educating people about broken society and how to maybe fix it? Who is worth more money? The free market says the NHL player is worth more money and more valuable. People voted dollars. And people who write sweet 16 romance novels make way more money. Corny books. The problem with the free market is if your customers in the market are idiots, then stupid shit sells. And to make good money you create stupid shit. The free market works best when buyers are intelligent, informed, educated. That's not the society we live in. There are little tiny sections of the market that are good. Like, say, selling the Matrix movie. A lot of people liked the Matrix and enjoyed the idea of the red pill. But wait. Isn't that what Stardusk and Barbarossa are selling? They are not really selling as much as asking for a donation if you want to donate. Whereas the Matrix movie demands you pay $12 or you cannot be let into the theater. The Matrix is mostly people shooting guns at each other and doing karate kicks. I just don't see how the Matrix, a $1 million industry, is a more respectable career to be in. If you do the special effects of the Matrix movie, you are essentially fiddling with buttons and knobs. You are an artist too. Really respectable salary. But why more respectable than giving life lessons about broken society? So if some university were to hire Barbarossa or Stardusk to be an educator about society, or maybe a scientist who does studies on humans, studying humans in peer-reviewed tests, looking at biology of women and men, connecting it to their behavior, feminism, selfishness, etc., then that would be a real job and real career, right? But you have a catch-22, because no university is going to allow politically incorrect scientists or educators to be hired at their university. You think the feminists in the university will allow it? James Watson, the co-discoverer of DNA, has already gotten in shit for saying that women brains are different than male brains. It's very hard to get a career in a broken society without being ridiculed or pushed out. Aside from starting your own business and doing your own thing, getting hired is being a slave. You are just a slave to a broken society. A respectable job is not as respectable as you think. The best you can do is run your own company and make your own rules. But even when you run your own company, you are selling services to a broken society. Fool customers. Plus, let us say you aren't the business of building cars and selling cars. If you build a car that breaks after 5 years and requires maintenance, you make more money on the maintenance and repairs at the dealer shop charges. If you build a car that self-heals and self-repairs, similar to cells in the body, and requires little maintenance, you don't make very much money because no one pays you to fix it at the shop at the dealer. So instead of making money on the repairs of the car, do you charge more upfront for the car? You may have to charge $500,000 for the car because it literally self-heals and lasts 400 years. But society prefers a cheap $10,000 car. They are idiots that think in the short term. So you change your whole company around to suit the market you are selling to, the consumer society. So much for making your own rules and running your own business. It's the consumers who own you. The consumers run your business by voting with their dollars. To think you have control is just a delusion. But still, if you manage to find a market that's smart, like a bunch of nerds who are smart, and just 20,000 nerds out there buy your self-healing car, maybe you did it. Maybe you escaped the Matrix, had a lot of fun, ran your own business, sold a product that was fully respectable. You saved a lot of men from wasting money and time and stress on constant repairs and shop bills. You just asked for $120,000 and rightfully so. And they handed it over to buy the car. What I am saying is this is rare and is the exception. Most careers are a joke. Science is also a very respectable career to be in. But if science labs are connected to a feminist university institution, or influenced by broken society, then you end up with geniuses. James Watson, being ridiculed for saying men brains differ from women. So you spend your life in a career that hates you for pointing out truths about DNA or evolution. Or just look at how Thunderfoot, a scientist, is ridiculed for speaking out against feminism. People lose their jobs and get fired for a tweet, post, or a comment. Richard Dawkins was shamed for tweeting a post ridiculing feminism. So even the supposed respectable careers, like science, are not friendly areas to work in. Sure, we should all work hard anyway. And just try to ignore all this bad apple stuff. Don't let a few bad apples ruin it. Easier said than done though, when the whole system is a bag of mostly bad apples. But anyway, life churns on. Like the days of our lives. Or however the fuck that saying goes. You think that your career is respectable because you don't mooch off your YouTube subscribers. But really, a book author like Richard Dawkins is just mooching off his book sales and readers too. I don't see how it is different. Or Chevy and Ford mooching off shop repairs. This might be a red pill moment for you, that a lot of careers require clever crafting in such a way to make you think what you are doing is respectable, when you are just a tool. But most people probably don't even get it. Huh. How is being a mechanic at a shop bad? You are providing service to people who have their cars in need of repair. What is so bad about that? Well, you are probably repairing a married couple's car. Great. Not. Or some pickup artist's hot car that he uses to pick up more women. In fact, the whole point of many cars is to attract attention to the opposite sex. So if you are in the car industry in any way, are you a parasite providing cars to sell sex? Pretty much this whole system is designed to get lots of people married. Our whole economy. So if you participate in the economy in any way, are you a parasite? Laughing out loud. Well, at least we have some good news. There are little sections in the free market that sell to smart people looking for smart products. I'm not saying we are 100% doomed. For example, the products like the personal computer was designed to help society become smarter. Or high mileage oil supposedly helps your car last longer. There are some good eggs in the basket out there. Or good apples. I'm just saying, don't be deluded. Everybody in the economy figures out ways to mooch off other people in some way. PayPal parasitically steals a bit of your transaction amount each time. And same goes with Visa MC. They could cut the fees in half and still make a good living. But they don't. Pharmaceuticals is also a respectable career to be in, because you are curing or helping diseases. But look at all the corrupt stuff that goes on there. People end up getting other diseases because of the strong side effects of the medications that they sweep under the rug and pretend don't exist. They play ignorant. So is anyone that works in a pharmacy just a corrupt drug dealer? Are they a parasite? Just mooching a commission off the sale? Should they work for free? Why is someone who mixes a bunch of pills into a bottle getting paid more than Stardusk or Barber? Half the pharmacy pills have toxic effects that the pharmacist fails to mention. Every career has its parasitic side to it. Hopefully people can pick a career that is the least parasitic and the most respectable. Is selling music a respectable career? Why does a musician get paid millions for writing love songs? I could go on, but I won't.
Your new album has just come out. It's called Some Girls, isn't it? Why did you call it that? I mean, I thought all the Rolling Stones...
forgot all their fucking names.
Well into the boobs, the whole
technique.
I'm afraid if the band's lacking slightly in energy, it's because they spent all last night fucking. We do our best. accepted in society. We don't worry about the things that we used to be. We're talking heroin with the president, 'cause it's a problem, sir, that it can't be beer.